Okay, we need to cover a few more things. Tonight's the last night, obviously, before Purim. So, davening in the morning of Purim, we wear talis and tefillin, obviously. Chabad custom is that a mourner does daven for the Yomid. Other places they don't. Chabad custom is that a mourner davens for the Yomid. He's the chazan. You have right after, there's no tachnus, so right after Shemona Esrei is half Kaddish. You take out a Sefer Torah, you read the Kriya Vayava Yamolek, at the end of the Parsha is B'Shalach. It's the shortest Kriya, it's 9 psukim. The Gemara says really it's supposed to be 10. The Gemara answers why it's only 9 and not 10. And then after that you do Hag B'Glila, and then while you're holding the Sefer Torah we read the Megillah. It's also different customs. Our custom is that during the Megillah, whoever did Hagba holds the Sefer Torah, and then after Megillah reading, after Ashriya Volotzian, then he puts the Sefer Torah back, like on a regular day. Now, our custom is to, again, there's a lot of different customs. Our custom is that we listen to the reading of the Megillah while we're still wearing Rashi's tefillin. Not Rabbeinu Tam's, those that wear Rabbeinu Tam's, we listen to the Megillah while reading Rashi. Now, when the Chazan says during the day the 3 brachas before the Megillah, when he says the brachas Shechyon, you have to have in mind all the mitzvahs of the day. So you have to have in mind, number 1, reading of the Megillah, Mishleach Manos, Matanis Lavyenim, and Sudas Purim. So you have to have that in mind at the time you listen to the bracha. Now, the mitzvahs of the day, that's because it's late. Mishleach Manos means you have to send 2 edibles. 2 edibles means ready to eat foods. Preferably it should be a kazayas each, 1 ounce each. This myth that it has to be 2 separate brachas is above a maisa. There's no such thing in halacha. You could send an apple and a pear. You could send fish and meat. You could send, in fact somebody asked me an interesting shayla. Can he send mishleach manis 2 things, 1 milk and 1 meat? So he told me if they're separate, they're not. Yeah, I'm saying if there's a machitza, we love it, that you shouldn't. It doesn't have. It could be food that's edible raw. You can't send raw chicken or raw beans, things that you can't eat raw. But something which is eaten raw, you could send. Okay. So you have to send mishleach manis, 2 edibles to 1 person. Men have to send to men, women have to send to women. Okay? That's the minimal requirement, 2 edibles to 1 person. The mitzvah of Mishlech Manos, Matanis Lavyenim, and Sudas Purim have to be done during the day. If you give somebody Mishlech Manos today, tomorrow, Saturday night, you didn't do the mitzvah. It has to be done on the day of Purim. In fact, we mentioned many times, there's a machlekes in halacha. What happens if I sent it today, but you got it on Purim? Or if I sent it on Purim, but you got it a day later, did I get the mitzvah? Do you go by the giving or by the receiving? So it's all machlekes in halacha, so therefore you make sure that you give and receive the same day. You know, at least 1 person. All those people that send with the shuttles, you know, the Purim shuttles of the schools in Varian, you're most probably not yotze the mitzvah mishleach manis with that. A lot of reasons. But what you should do, even if you do the shuttle to 1 person, 1 man and the woman to 1 woman, should send mishleach manis to at least 1 person to make sure they do the mitzvah correctly. Man to man, women to women. What happens if you're in a situation that there's no woman? So a woman can send to a woman. So then you can give to a man, or a man to a woman. That's only mamish if there's nobody else around. Otherwise, now, men have to give, women have to give, kids have to be educated to give mishleach manis. Now, because the Megillah uses the word mishleach manis with a shliach, there is an opinion that holds you must send it with a shliach. You can't just give it straight yourself. But everybody disagrees with that, and the halacha is that you could send it, let's say you have no kids or whatever, you see somebody, you can give it to them yourself. That's the mitzvah of mishleach manis. That's the mitzvah of mishleach manis, and only, you can't do it with, you can't send somebody a book and a tablecloth. it has to be 2 edibles. No, it has an halacha. It says it has to be 2 edibles, and that's the way you're... Now, the Gemara tells a story that Rabbi and Rab Zera, how did they do the mitzvah Mishleach Manis? They switched meals. Rabbi gave Rab Zera his meal, Rab Zera gave his, so that's also a possibility. If you don't have Mishleach Manis, you just change. The Rebbe gave Kohen Levi Yisrael. It doesn't say that in halacha though. In halacha you have to give 2 edibles to 1 person. The Rebbe gave 3, the Rebbe gave more, but there was a different cheshbon. The Rebbe gave 3 people Mishleach Manis, Kohen Levi and Yisrael. 2 foods to 1 person, you did the mitzvah. Now you can give 2 foods to another person, and another person, another person. Yes, to do the mitzvah. What? That's a legal question, because if there's no community property, then everything the wife owns belongs to the husband. So it's the husband giving himself. That doesn't work. Yeah, but it couldn't, no, not really, because I'm not getting into that. Because if you have in California community property, it's 50-50. So ideally, they should try to give somebody else. There is a din, a brother can give a sister, a brother, because then it's what? 1 minute, we're getting matanas lavyanim. That's mishloach manis. That's mitzvahs matanas lavyanim. Because the Torah says matanas lavyanim, it means you have to give 2 poor people 1 coin each. That's minimum. The Rambam says, Shchnarach says it's better to give more matanas of yainin than mishloach manis, because nothing makes Hashem happier than when poor people are taken care of. So there are, Moshe, here in Shul, we're going to have a box of matanas of yainim that you can put them. You can give the money to it will be delivered and given out on the day of Purim itself. But by the way, matanas of yainim, a man could give a woman could give a man, and so on and so forth. There are opinions in halacha that hold that if, let's say, you give mishloach manis to a poor family, so then you could be yetzer both mitzvahs at the same time, because they're poor, so you're giving mishloach manis and matanas of yainim. But the minig is to try to give them separate. What?
If you give a donation to an organization like today,
that's not.
Then if you didn't give it on Purim Day.
No, 1 second. If you give, let's say, the word organization is a very funny word. If somebody would give me money today, somebody already gave me yesterday. Somebody gave me today. Somebody gave me yesterday. They give, here's money. I'm asking you on Purim Day to give it out. So then they're not giving it to the poor people today. They're giving it to me to act as their agent, like selling the chametz. To act as their agent on Purim Day. So then I'm giving it for them on Purim, so I'm yetzer the mitzvah. But you can't give it to a poor person tonight, or today, or tomorrow, and you're not yetzer the mitzvah of matanas of yainim. Okay, women also have to give all the mitzvahs. They have to do matanas. What?
What's the minimum for matanas of yainim?
Matanas of yainim, the question is a pruta. Today you have to count minimum a nickel. I mean, but that's stretching it. It should be
Brother, can you spare a dime?
sizable amount. Okay, now, Sudas Purim, there's a mitzvah to have a meal on Purim. Halachically, you're allowed to have the meal anytime during the day. You can even have the meal in the morning. The custom generally is, in most circles, if Purim is Friday, then you have to have the Suda in the morning. But Purim this year, so you can have the meal anytime during the day, after sunrise. But the custom is generally you daven mincha early, and then you have the Suda, and then you come back later for Ma'ariv. Now, according to halacha, it's questionable. It's that question. It's machlekes. Do you have to eat bread, and do you have to have meat? It says in halacha, it's preferred you make sure you wash for the Suda. Also, it's brought down, according to many poskim, that the meat that you eat at the Purim Suda should be meat rather than chicken. Because when the Gemara says, Ein simcha ela babasar, it means, meat, not chicken. But if somebody doesn't want to eat meat, or they don't like meat, or whatever, they could be yetzer with chicken. I'm saying if preferable is to be yetzer with wine and meat. It's also a question if you could be yetzer wine with grape juice. But anyway, the bottom line is people should drink wine and eat meat and wash for bread and then bench and say al nisim. Most of the meal has to be during the day. That's what it says. Reif Sud has to be during the day. But you definitely have to wash before Shkia, before sundown. But it says in halacha, Reif Sud is supposed to be by day. What else is there? What? In halacha it says, Reiv of the Soda should be B'yain. That's what Shulchan Aruch says. Now you want to learn, you can learn. Okay, now people should not get too drunk during the meal.
Ad lo yoda.